A nearly 90-page lawsuit accuses John Pelletier of serving as muscle for Sean Diddy Combs in California and Las Vegas.
Imagine a police chief sworn to protect the public actually helping cover up celebrity crimes. That's exactly what's being alleged in a bombshell lawsuit naming Maui Police Chief John Pelletier as a co-conspirator in Diddy's growing scandal. Court documents claim Pelletier posed as a sheriff's deputy back in 2018 when responding to a sexual assault call involving Diddy. Instead of helping the victim, he allegedly handed over an envelope of cash to silence witnesses. This isn't just celebrity gossip anymore. It's potentially one of the biggest law enforcement corruption cases tied to Hollywood ever exposed. One innocent comment about Tupac's murder changed Ashley Parham's life forever. While the details remain allegations at this point, court documents paint a horrifying picture of what supposedly happened next. A calculated trap set by powerful men seeking revenge. The nightmare allegedly began when Shane Pierce, a mutual associate of Diddy, orchestrated what appears to be an elaborate setup. According to the lawsuit, Parham was invited to what she thought would be a casual movie night at an apartment in Orinda, California. What started as an innocent evening quickly transformed into something far more sinister. The court filings tell a chilling story about what allegedly happened next. Diddy himself supposedly arrived with an entourage. Not just any entourage, but one that included NFL superstar Odell Beckham Jr. and popular comedian Drusky. These high-profile names weren't part of the original complaint, but have now surfaced in amended court documents, adding explosive new dimensions to the case. What allegedly followed was a violent, traumatic attack that the lawsuit claims was revenge for Parham's earlier comments suggesting Diddy played a role in Tupac's murder. This wasn't a spontaneous act of violence, according to the legal filings. This was calculated retaliation orchestrated by men who believed their power and influence would shield them from consequences. The court documents contain disturbing specifics about the alleged assault. According to the lawsuit, during the attack, Drusky reportedly doused plaintiff with more oil lubricant before treating it like a slip and slide. The complaint attributes this shocking behavior to drug use, painting a picture of intoxicated celebrities allegedly committing horrific acts. Perhaps one of the strangest details in the legal filings involves Beckham. The lawsuit claims that during the assault, the other attackers referred to the NFL star as Cornelius, an odd nickname that stood out to Parham precisely because it was so odd and unique. These kinds of specific details add credibility to the allegations, as they represent the kind of unusual minutiae victims often remember from traumatic events. As the alleged attack continued, the lawsuit describes Parham's body becoming more and more limp, suggesting she may have been drugged or was physically unable to resist due to the number of attackers. Most disturbing of all, court documents claim that during this horrific scene, Diddy and Drusky were manically and hysterically laughing, as though the violent assault was some form of entertainment for them. The timeline described in the legal filings suggests this wasn't just a random act, but rather a calculated response to Parham's Tupac comment, made approximately 1 month earlier. According to the lawsuit, Parham believes the entire evening was orchestrated specifically to punish her for questioning Diddy's possible involvement in one of hip-hop's most notorious unsolved murders. The amended complaint has now named names that weren't initially included. Pelletier, Beckham Jr., and Drusky are all identified as alleged co-conspirators in this disturbing case. These additions have turned what was already a serious allegation into a scandal touching multiple corners of entertainment and sports. What makes this case particularly troubling isn't just the violence described or the celebrity names involved. It's the suggestion that this kind of behavior might be protected by a system designed to shield the powerful. The allegations paint a picture of wealthy, influential men who believed they could commit violent acts without facing justice. The system designed to protect Diddy wasn't just about money or influence, it allegedly came with a badge. When Ashley Parham managed to escape her attackers and her neighbor dialed 911, the response wasn't what you'd expect from law enforcement. Instead of protection, court documents paint a disturbing picture of a high-ranking police officer allegedly working to shield Diddy from consequences. The implications stretch far beyond one rapper's reputation. If police officers can allegedly be bought or compromised, how many other victims have been silenced? How many predators walk free? As this case unfolds, it forces us all to question whether true justice is possible when power, money, and influence can potentially corrupt even those wearing a badge. The court of public opinion may have already decided, but the legal system will have the final word. According to the lawsuit, the officer who arrived at the scene wasn't just any cop. He was John Pelletier, a Las Vegas police captain allegedly masquerading as a Contra Costa sheriff's deputy. This wasn't a random officer responding to a call. The lawsuit claims Pelletier was actually working security for Diddy at the time, creating a serious conflict of interest that would compromise any legitimate police response. What happens when the person who's supposed to protect victims is potentially there to protect the alleged perpetrators instead? The lawsuit details how Pelletier allegedly threw the police handbook out the window. There was no medical assistance offered to a woman claiming she'd just been assaulted, no ambulance called, no trip to the hospital for a rape kit or medical treatment. He didn't even help her retrieve her personal belongings from the apartment where she claimed the attack occurred. Even more shocking is what Pelletier allegedly told Parham and her neighbor. Rather than taking a rape report, court documents claim he dismissed the situation entirely, stating they had received several noise complaints, as if a violent sexual assault was nothing more than a loud party. His alleged solution? He instructed Parham to simply find a way home. No investigation, no documentation, no justice. If you've ever wondered how powerful celebrities might escape accountability for serious crimes, this case offers a potential blueprint. The lawsuit describes a scene where Pelletier allegedly handed what appeared to be an envelope to Parham's neighbor, who then quickly returned empty-handed, suggesting what many might interpret as a cash payoff to silence witnesses. This alleged cover-up didn't just protect Diddy in the moment, it potentially enabled years of continued behavior. While Parham's allegations remained buried, Pelletier's career flourished. In 2021, 3 years after the alleged incident, he ascended to become Maui's police chief, securing significant power and authority within Hawaii's law enforcement system. The implications here go far beyond a single incident. These allegations expose what could be a much larger ecosystem protecting celebrities, one where wealth and fame don't just buy luxury, but potentially immunity from the law itself. When the very people sworn to uphold justice might be compromised, who's left to protect victims? The earthquake from these allegations has now reached Hawaii, where officials are taking the claims seriously. Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson has called for Pelletier to be placed on administrative leave while an investigation takes place. It's a rare moment where the consequences of alleged protection might finally catch up to those involved. For his part, Pelletier has categorically denied all allegations against him. A spokesperson for the police chief stated, "We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spread misleading narratives." This forceful denial sets the stage for what could become a bitter legal battle over truth and accountability. The lawsuit raises disturbing questions about how deep celebrity protection systems might run. If a police captain could allegedly cross state lines to handle a sexual assault call involving a music mogul, who else might be compromised? How many other incidents might have been similarly buried? And most importantly, how can victims ever trust a system that might be working against them from the moment they call for help? The saga that began with a Tupac comment has now spiraled into a scandal that threatens not just Diddy's freedom, but potentially exposes cracks in our justice system. This music mogul now sits in a federal detention center in Brooklyn without bail, awaiting a May trial on sex trafficking charges that could send shockwaves through Hollywood. What makes this case particularly disturbing isn't just the allegations themselves, but the suggestion that those sworn to protect us might be protecting celebrities instead. While all parties have issued strong denials, this wouldn't be the first time law enforcement has been accused of covering up for the rich and famous. The implications stretch far beyond one rapper's reputation. If police officers can allegedly be bought or compromised, how many other victims have been silenced? How many predators walk free? As this case unfolds, it forces us all to question whether true justice is possible when power, money, and influence can potentially corrupt even those wearing a badge. The court of public opinion may have already decided, but the legal system will have the final word.